Hello everyone. So we were looking at how this motor will work. So I said we take two terminals and we bring one terminal to +5 and ground. So this is, let's say, case A, case 1. So in the case 1, this motor shaft, or this, that whatever this, if you have seen this motor, this white color one where we connect the wheel, will rotate in one direction. It can be any direction, we don't know. Anyway, one direction it will rotate. So let's say it's rotating in this way to rotate. If you switch the terminals, that means if you connect this to ground and this to +5, this terminal to +5, okay, so now terminal A goes to ground, terminal B goes to +5, then it will rotate in the opposite direction. Okay, so let's say something like this. So this is terminal A, this is terminal B, so this is the direction of the rotating shaft. Okay, so this is terminal A, right, and this is terminal B. You get it? So let's say if you give +5 to terminal A and ground to terminal B, and the direction should be, okay, direction will be, let's say, it can be any direction, let's say clockwise. I'm just saying, okay, clockwise direction. If you connect the terminal A to ground, now you are switching it, right? And if you connect terminal B to +5, then since the connections are now opposite, the rotation also will be opposite, maybe counterclockwise, not maybe, but surely counterclockwise. Okay, so in case, okay, let's say this is first scenario, this is second scenario. In case in the first scenario the motor was rotating in the counterclockwise, then the second scenario motor will rotate in the clockwise, that means opposite directions. You understand? So you came to know about a new thing that is called the directions of the motors. Okay, when you are controlling a motor with Arduino, you can change the directions of the motors. How? Just switching the terminals, terminal inputs, that means +5 or ground. Just changing +5 to ground and ground to +5, you can change the direction of the motor. So let's say you have connected a motor with the wheel, okay, and let's say if you are connecting terminal A to +5 and B to ground, and the wheel is, let's say, rotating in the front side, and if you want to rotate the wheel in the back side, you just have to switch the terminals. Now A should go to ground and B should go to +5, then the wheel will rotate back side. So in other words, if you want to rotate the motor forward, if you want to make sure the wheel is going forward, maybe the vehicle that where the wheel is connected is going forward, then let's say you are giving a +5 A to one pin and ground to another terminal. If you want to make the vehicle to move backward, that means the motor should rotate backward, then you have to connect the other way around, +5 to the previous ground terminal and ground to the +5 terminal, previous +5 terminal. You understand? You have to switch the terminals. Okay, so now you came to know, if we connect a motor and if we switch the terminals, we can change the directions. So how we can verify it? Okay, let's take a simulation environment. Okay, so I have this simulation environment. In this simulation environment we have a yellow motor, but we cannot see the demonstration using this motor because some issue is there. But I have taken another DC motor, so just to understand the rotation changing. Okay, but for you have to buy a motor like this. This is the best choice, and you have two terminals you can find here, actually here and here, or you can look at this picture where we have connected the wires I have shown you earlier. So this picture we solder these two terminals with wires. Okay, these two terminals you can solder with wires, red and black, and take the wires out, and then give one wire to +5 and ground and see which direction the motor is rotating, and then switch the wires. That means earlier +5 going wire now should go to ground, earlier ground going wire now should go to +5, and see the motor is the white color part is rotating the other way around. So if you want, you can connect a wheel also and see the direction, then the direction will be clear if you connect a wheel. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so this should be done directly with the motor and Arduino. So for the simulation purpose, I take this motor, okay, and we will see this direction is really changing or not. Okay, so here we have two terminals. Just don't worry much, just think you have a motor and those two terminals. Okay, so in the yellow motor, your terminals will be this and this red and blue. You soldered the wires with the terminals. Okay. Simulation when it's a little difference. That's all. Okay. So terminal 1 and terminal 2. First I will connect the terminal 1 to +5. Okay. And terminal 2 to ground. Okay. This is how you also have to connect. And I will see which direction the motor is rotating. Okay. See this? Terminal 1 to +5, terminal 2 to ground. Okay. Okay, where is this Arduino? Okay, this makes sense. Okay, now it's visible now. Terminal 1 goes to +5, terminal 2 go to ground. So this is terminal 1, this is terminal 2. Okay, now I will simulate and see the direction. Wait, let the motor rotate. Okay, now you can see the motor is rotating this side. Which side? Counterclockwise. Yes or no? Yes, so obvious. Okay, one direction it is rotating. Now I am going to switch the terminals. Okay, so now it's rotating counterclockwise, right? Not it properly. I want to switch the terminal, so I will stop the simulation and I'm going to change to different way. So earlier terminal 1 was going to +5. Now the terminal 1 is I am going to connect to ground. And terminal 2 was earlier going to ground. Now I am going to connect it to +5. Okay. Earlier it was rotating this way, that means counterclockwise. Now let's see. Okay, earlier it was rotating this way, counterclockwise. Now let's see. Okay, hold on. Okay, wait. Right. Now you see the motor is now rotating the opposite side, this way, right? Clockwise. See, clockwise rotation. So what is the change we did? We just switched the terminals. Switching the terminals, changing the direction. So only we can give +5 and ground to the terminals. Just switch them and make sure the motor is rotating the other way around, opposite directions. Okay. So if you connect a wheel and you make sure that is going forward in a particular terminal connection, +5 ground. And if you want to make sure, if you want the wheel to rotate in the backward, if you want that to go in backward, then you have to switch the terminals between +5 and ground. You understood, guys? Okay. So you learn something important, how to connect a motor to an Arduino, I mean for the moment, and how you can change the direction of the motor, forward to backward, backward to forward. So this is very, very important. The rest of the things we will study, everything will be based on this knowledge. Okay guys, so I'll catch you up in the next video. Until then, stay safe.